right, everybody. Welcome back to the Waiver Wire. It is July 10th, 5:46 p.m. I'm here once again with Nick, and we're just here to kind of discuss our most competitive starting five from this summer league in the rookie draft class. So we're just gonna dive right into it, Nick. We're giving you the first pick, giving me the little handicap. So who you looking at? Who would you take with your first pick for the summer league?
All right, I'm on the clock, and he has not played this summer league, but I don't care. Ja Morant is numero uno for me. I just think that what he did at Murray State was unbelievable. He averaged 50.2 created points per game. So that's basically scoring or assisting on. And he averaged 10 assists a game as well, which is pretty crazy in college basketball because there's so much less possessions compared to the NBA. While his 3-point percentage is at 37% at Murray State, he shot 81% from the free throw line, which shows a translation to a 3-point shot in the NBA. I think he's an all-around point guard. He's a great distributor, great scorer, can do a little bit of everything. I just think he's the biggest prize from this draft, and getting to see a little bit of Zion get hurt again, not overwhelmingly skilled on offense, made me a little nervous, so I just decided to go with Ja.
Yeah, man, I think it's a good pick. John Morant, the thing I like about him is he's an aggressive guard and he's not afraid to get his team involved, obviously with the assist. Yeah, averaging 10.5 assists at the college level is crazy. He has the sixth most assists in NCAA history, and he led the 12th seed to the second round of the tournament, where they faced the fifth seed Marquette, and he had a triple double, and it was the first triple double since 2012. He followed that with a 28-point loss against Florida State. I just think he's super aggressive. I love players that pass the ball. Like Rondo's one of my all-time favorites because he'll attack and he'll score, but he'll also attack and dish. So I mean, that same kind of lineup falls with Morant, where I mean, obviously in a much better form, but he is looking to get his team involved, and that's interesting that he created 50 points for his team. I haven't heard of that stat, but that's super awesome. What would you say if someone told you that they kind of remind him of like Russell Westbrook?
I can understand a little bit. The size is similar, 6'3". John Moran obviously is thinner right now, but Westbrook was thinner when he came out of college, obviously. Westbrook was a UCLA guy. The thing I love about Ja is he's a Murray State guy, so no one really expected him to be this. He was under recruited out of high school. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's kind of had to create this brand, and Westbrook being a UCLA alum, it was more expected. The comparison is pretty good, though. I wouldn't say it's terrible because they both control the pace of the game. The ball is better when it's in their hands, but Morant's going to be a lot better shooter, and I think he's a better playmaker. And at this point, I think that he's a better leader as well. But it's hard to say. You never know how fame and money can change people. But he's in Memphis, so probably
Yeah.
will be easy to keep your humility. You're not in New York or
I
LA.
I think that's the biggest problem with Westbrook, and I think that's what Morant has. Is like you're talking about leadership. Russell Westbrook, I just don't see him winning a championship for the reason being that he just doesn't make players around him better. I just think that he wants to be the guy too bad, which I'm not gonna make this about Westbrook, so it'll be quick. But I think John Morant really does. Like that's what I'm talking about when he makes his team better and cares about getting people involved. I think he honestly cares about getting his team involved and making his whole team better around him as well as himself. So I think it's super cool watching him going in. My first pick, which I'd be a fool to not take him, Zion Williamson, man, 6'7", 285 pounds. He was the first pick this year. He averaged 23 points a game, shot just under 70%, had 9 rebounds and 2 assists a game. Do you think this is the right pick from my squad?
You can't pass on him.
Yeah.
He is just a freak. I just honestly, we'll get to this later in the podcast, of the timeline of our podcast. I'm a football guy. I can't believe the guy didn't play football. He didn't even play in high school. There's not even some cool high school highlights. He is a freak, dude. I wonder about the weight. There are people that believe that because he is so explosive that it's really hard on his joints, which is kind of weird to think, but it's kind of along the lines of Blake Griffin. If you've watched Blake Griffin recently, he doesn't dunk as much because it's harder on his feet. So that is one thing that I worry about. But Zion is such a good dude that I just have a hard time not seeing him be successful. Although I don't like the LeBron stuff. I don't know if he's as skilled as LeBron,
Hmm.
but I still think he's going to be a great player, and you got to take him.
Yeah, that's the thing is you can't put these players on a pedestal and compare them to like all-time greats right out of college. That shit really actually annoys me. But anyways,
Yes, I mean,
with that being said, I think Zion, he's a great decision maker. I mean, he for his size and position, he averaged just under 2 turnovers a game. I think also he lacks shooters at Duke, and like there was no floor spacing. He's a big guy. He's got to be working down low. Another thing I liked about him is he's not ball dominant, so the ball doesn't
yeah,
need to be in his hands for him to score. So I think you surround him with shooters, you spread the floor a little bit, and he is going to be a little more effective. I mean, shit, he averaged 23 a game. That's an awesome number. I mean, he's a great defender. He creates turnovers. He blocks shots. I mean, he's a young dude. I just think he's the solid number one. I think there's not much more to say really about him. I mean, he can do it. He can really do it all. He's just a great nucleus for me, in my opinion, as a GM to build around. So
yeah.
we'll see the theme of spreading the floor and getting shooters here to come, man. Who's your second pick? Zion's off the board. Your boy Ja Morant's off the board. There's still plenty of players. Let's go.
All right, so I got Ja Morant. I got my floor general. I got my primary playmaker. I need a rim protector and I need a finisher over the top. And if anybody watched Jackson Hayes the other night, that's all this guy does,
I know I
man.
hate you for this pick too.
I couldn't pass on him. I loved him coming out of Texas. Shaka Smart, which is like the dopest name ever.
Hey, I
The
got
coach.
Myers Leonard and Moe's expirings coming your way for Jackson Hayes.
It's gonna have to be some serious draft picks
Yeah,
involved.
for real.
uh, Shaka Smart has really created kind of like this center pipeline at Texas. Jared Allen and Miles Turner and Mo Bamba and now Jackson Hayes. So I love him coming out. You've got a little family history for us to highlight that athleticism. But in that one game already in summer league, he had 28 points and 3 blocks. He was unbelievable, a dunking machine. It's kind of weird to think that Zion will actually be the second best dunker on his team.
Yeah.
So
And that
I got my
2080 that 2080 he had against the Bulls, his career high in college was 19 for Texas. So it's just crazy like how effective he's been and how great he's played. I mean, he's 6'11", 220. He averaged 10 a game and he shot 72%. I love seeing these stats with these big guys with field goal percentages over like 65%. It just shows they know their role and they know they just I just feel like that shows that they're smart players. You know what I mean? If you're shooting over 70%, then obviously you're scoring down low and you're kicking out when you don't have a shot. Like, and yeah, about his family. I mean, his dad, he was played in the NFL for 12 years. He's currently the tight end coach for the Bengals, which sorry ass team. But anyways, his mom was averaging 50 a game in high school for her basketball team. So he's got
insane.
he's got like sports embedded in him. He played a little bit of football. He was being scouted when he was 6'7" by some collegiate football teams, but he chose basketball.
Yeah.
He might be my favorite player in the draft. Honestly, I love watching him play. That Bulls game was awesome. That poster was so much fun to watch, and he just plays above the rim. And in transition, he's good. He moves well. He's got great energy. He rotates well on defense. I mean, I think he's going to be a really really great player. And I also think that Pelicans roster should be in the discussion to crack the playoffs. You know what I mean? If they keep playing, if their assets keep playing this good.
Yeah, they'll be interesting this year for sure because they added some good vets as well.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. My second pick had to keep it with the hometown. I'm taking Anthony Simons. Second year player, 6'4", 185 pounds. I need a guard,
Killing me.
and and if we're making this draft about the summer league and the rookies, man, I mean, I don't know. He just gets better and better with every game. How do you feel about me taking Anthony from you? He was almost there.
Oh man, I not happy about it. Only I just didn't know how much of the fit would be next to Ja Morant, and I love
That's
Jackson.
true. That's true.
But if you didn't take him here, it was going to be Simons, no doubt about it. Some of the stuff I got away from Dan Dockich, he does the announcing on ESPN that I really thought was interesting is he talked about Simon's ability to keep his chin on the rim while he's driving, and how he goes, it's an obvious statement, but you got to make layups in the NBA as a point guard, and Simons makes those contested, off balance layups that other guys in
Seriously.
the summer league are missing.
So
He's
impressive.
20 years old. He is just going to be a star and probably the leading scorer on your team.
Yeah. No, honestly. The reason I picked up Simons is because Zion's going to be such a threat down low. I want to space the floor, and I don't know anybody that's been more efficient than Anthony this summer league. I really don't. Like he's just cook. He's drilling threes. He was 5 for 5 to start the game the other night. I mean, he got 35 points. He leads the summer league in the highest scoring game. He's shown he can score in a variety of ways. Like you're talking about finishing at the hoop. I mean, he against Utah, he's pulling up from the elbow. He's pulling up from three. He's driving and fading. He's in transition scoring, and he would have won the game for us right there if he didn't slip. Like he was so in it, you know. And
Yeah,
I just really really like what Portland's doing with Anthony. I'm really happy he's on my real team, you know. And I like the point you brought up because we were texting during the game, and I had brought up the point of like, damn, he's turning the ball over too much. And I think you made an excellent point where it's like, yeah, we gotta put him in the fire, let him go out there and play, and let him make those mistakes because he's gonna play games that really matter this year. And if he learns from those mistakes, it's gonna be a big deal for us. But
yeah, definitely. That's one thing when watching summer league with these guards. Some of them are being forced to do things to get better, and that's not what they're going to do in the regular season. So
mm,
I think he'll always be on the court with Dame or CJ, so he won't have to be the primary ball handler,
mm.
and that'll help him out a lot.
But yeah, I just think that Anthony's gonna really space the floor for Zion. I think Zion's my nucleus here, but
Yeah,
Anthony is my guy. Anthony's my number two. He's out there, he's hitting the shots, he's driving, he's kicking it to Zion. Zion's kicking it back to him. This is my pairing I want to work with going forward. But anyways, man, who's your number three?
well, you said most efficient player in the summer league, and my boy here at number three may have an argument. Lonnie Walker the fourth. I have no idea the third and the second, but they were probably great dudes.
Yeah.
And Ryan Walker the fourth is amazing. In Vegas, he's averaging 30 points, shooting 58% from the field,
Damn.
and he also has 1.5 steals, which has been amazing. I love his game. I loved him out of Miami when he got hurt last year. I was super bummed.
Hmm.
His hair is
His hair is
incredible,
so nice.
so cool, and like he can finish over the top. He's got a good mid range, incredible body control, and he is bouncy, man. When he just, some guys, they just bounce. And Lonnie Walker is one of those dudes. He's going to be one of the top scorers for the Spurs off the bench, I really think.
Does he at all remind you of DeMar DeRozan at all?
Yeah, a little bit. He's got a little DeMar to his game, except he can shoot the three.
Hmm.
So I don't know if he's quite as tall, but he has that DeMar DeRozan mid-range pull-up game. He's got a little Bradley Beal to him in terms of his body and his scoring potential. I love the guy. I loved him at Miami. He is going to be my primary scorer. I think Ja's going to run the show. I got my center down low, and we're going to feed Lonnie the ball.
Yeah, man, you got a good trio there. Yeah, he really improved his 3 point shooting from last year's summer league, and he's really improved his ball handling. 35% of his shots are from the mid range jumper, and he hits them at a 44% clip. So I mean, he really likes that pull up jumper. And honestly, when I play basketball, I mean, because my opinion really matters when it comes to being on the court, I love that mid
Oh,
range jumper. So yeah, Lonnie Walker's a killer, man. I mean, he dropped 32 on the Raptors, and he's just continuing dominating the summer league. He's shooting 50% from three, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. He's super athletic, and he can get up the floor and really finish in traffic. He's
yeah.
awesome. I've heard some people kind of refer to him as having like the Mamba mentality, and if there's anybody to give that to, I feel like he's the appropriate one through summer league to give that to.
Yeah, the one thing I do like about him though is he is super fiery, but he's also like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for guys that like smile.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I love
honestly.
about Zion. Zion's always smiling. Lonnie Walker's the same way. He's just smiling, man. It's like I'm a millionaire playing basketball. This is great.
Especially from
I
like
love that.
his come up is so like I don't know if you read his backstory at all, but from that reading or whatever, it sounds like on the national average, like crime rate and like violence rates like massively up by like 40% in that whole town. So it's like it's pretty crazy when he talks about his story and how he's like still smiling through all of it, even through like an injury last year that had him sidelined all year. It's like, damn, this guy's a good guy, you know. So,
Yeah.
anyways, continuing the theme of shooters, man. Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero, 6'5", 195 pounds. He's 19 years old out of Kentucky. I'm taking him. He's on the board. He's mine. I got him and Anthony as my backcourt. I got Zion working down low. Some people have compared him to Bradley Beal. A little bit more extreme, which I don't know if I agree with. I'm not comparing anybody to Luka Doncic yet, but I've seen some people compare him to Luka Doncic.
Just because he's white.
Yeah. No, but he's got handles. He's got a spot up jump. He's just a pure scorer. Like I could go on and on about ways to score. He can do it. You know, it's just he's going full transition, full speed, stops on a dime, pulls up, can drill a three. He's just so much fun to watch. He's always looking out for his big guys down low, which is why I think him and Zion as a duo would be awesome. He's constantly throwing lobs up off the pick and roll. He can pop it. He can drive. He can score down low. He can throw it up to his big guy on the roll. I'm really impressed with how he's played, and honestly, I'm surprised he signed his contract because I was pretty convinced that they were going to trade him to OKC for Westbrook. Glad they didn't, though. I mean, Hero, he's a great asset. What do you think of me drafting Hero with my third pick?
Yeah, I think it's a great move. The one thing I love about your team so far is Simons and Hero. They can both shoot off the ball. They're catch and shoot guys, and they're also creators, which is really rare. Those are the things that make Dame and CJ and Steph and Clay so great, is they can play with the ball and they can play without the ball. That's why John Wall and Bradley Beal struggle, because Bradley Beal never gets to create because John Wall struggles with the catch and shoot. So those two guys go really well together. Probably going to get maybe a little manhandled in terms of like physicality, but it's a scoring league. I don't care about defense. So as long as there's a shot blocker down low, which I know that you're going to get to later, that's all that matters, man. So
yeah, that's I think Anthony's a little bit underrated as a defender. I think he's done pretty well defensively. Hero's not so great as a defender, but like you said, they both can play so well without the ball. They can move without the ball. They're like the one thing about Hero that I constantly see is him. He's always got a motor. He's always running. He's trying to find the open spot. Yeah. And if you fall asleep for 1 second as a defender, he's catching it and popping it. He's got such a quick release to where it's like, damn, this guy can hoop, you know. And
he moves really well without the ball.
Yeah.
I don't like comparing. He's not a full-fledged comparison to Hero, but the way to Klay Thompson, but the way he moves without the ball is very Klay Thompson-like. He definitely studies play.
Whenever we do these comparisons, it's like the light version on all of them because I feel the same way. I don't want to bring anybody up, but it's like the little free version of the app. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, he's Diet Klay Thompson.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
I'm on the clock, right?
Yeah, you're on the clock, man.
All right.
Are you gonna trade or what?
So I got, for anyone keeping track at home, John Morant, Lonnie Walker, and Jackson Hayes. And with my fourth pick, you know, I've talked about him a lot. I was gonna keep him off today's pod, but dude just keeps balling. I can't stop talking about him. Mfiondu Kabengele. I got my power forward. He goes really well with Jackson Hayes. He can pick and pop. He can defend the cup. He is a good pick and roll defender. He's a switchable defender in the pick and roll. He's super unselfish offensively. I was surprised he had 21 points after his first game because it doesn't seem like he ever shot, but when he did, it went in. He's averaging 17 and 7 and in the summer league and 2 blocks per game so far. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's just really solid. He's a great fourth or third scorer on a team, especially once he develops more. I love this guy. I can't get enough of him. He's my Serge Ibaka. Jackson Hayes is my Clint Capella. They're a great pairing.
Yeah, man, he went into Florida State 6'6" and left as 6'10". I mean, that just shows he's had experience handling the ball, and he is super unselfish, which is so great to see in big guys, you know. Just like I said about Hayes, he's shooting at 72%. What that tells me is he knows when he's open. You know, he knows when to shoot, you know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he can consistently hit the free throw for a big guy. He's shooting free throws at 75%, which is another major key, and he's not afraid to attack. He can pick and pop. He can back you down, or he can just play bully ball. I think he's really impressed me. Coach K and Jim Boeheim both expressed how effective he was defensively after Florida State beat him this year. So
yeah,
I mean, I think he's a clutch pickup. I think he's a great big guy. I would have picked him up if he was here, but you beat me to him.
No.
Anyways, man, yeah. So far I got Zion, Anthony, and Tyler Hero. So I had to go with a big here. I picked up Brandon Clark, currently playing for Memphis with your boy Morant. We're breaking
Yep.
him up. He's 6'8", 215 pounds. He averaged 17 points a game. He shot just shy of 70%. He shot 69%, 8.5 rebounds out of Gonzaga. He led the NCAA in blocked shots last year. He just knows where to be defensively. Everything about him, if you want to learn how to play defense, it's Brandon Clark. He knows how to rotate. He knows how to play. He blocks shots. He's constantly in the help lane. He's constantly helping. If one of those guards drives, he's there to stop him. I think he runs very well in transition to get those easy buckets. That's part of why he averaged 17 a game. Is he's just running the floor. He's got a motor. He's smaller for a big. So the two major things I need him to do, I need my staff to get on his ass about, is he needs to improve his free throw shooting and he needs to get bigger. But other than that, all the fundamentals from me are there for Brandon Clark. What do you think about that pickup?
Yeah, I like Brandon Clark. He's an interesting guy because he is undersized, being 6'8", but he's bouncy. He's got that second jump, a guy that jumps once, comes back down, and is able to come right back up really
Mm-hmm.
quickly. Him and Zion, they're undersized, but they play bigger than they measure. He's a great rebounder. He's unselfish. And you're right. They're going to be able to switch pick and rolls very easily between Zion and Brandon Clark. I
Yeah.
like him. I just think he's going to be a really solid player. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be an all-star, but
Mm-hmm.
he's going to have a 15-year career. He kind of reminds me of a Taj Gibson kind of dude.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, for sure.
solid. Everybody likes him.
Yeah, he had 9 games last year with 5 blocks and 2 games with over 6 blocks. So I mean, he led the Zags to a the sixth best defense in the NCAA. So I think he was a major piece in a team where I've got Hero for scoring, Anthony for scoring, and then I also have Zion to top it off. So at this
Yeah.
point, I'm just looking to add some rim protectors, some defenders, some people that are gonna switch the screens, gonna rotate, gonna help me out down low. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah, exactly the glue guy. You need that guy. All right, brother. Who's your next pick? You're on the clock. You got 2 more spots to fill. So who are we looking at?
Oh, I'm down to one.
Oh yeah, you're down to one. I got two.
Down to one. Here we go. Miles Bridges from the Charlotte Hornets. He was drafted last year. He is a Michigan State Spartan. I like Miles Bridges. He's unselfish. He's still developing. He's taken a big stride in this summer league compared to the last summer league. 18-7 so far in this summer league. 2 steals per game. He's a physical player. He's kind of built up a little bit like Draymond, except he's actually bigger, even though he's younger. He's very bouncy. I really like the way he fits in the middle of this roster. I've got my shooters with Morant, Lonnie Walker, and Cobb and Jelly. I've got my rim protector and my dunker with Jackson Hayes. Miles Bridges is a 3-and-D type of player where he's going to stand out, knock down open threes, and run with these guys in transition. This lineup is freaky athletic, should be super successful in transition. I'm a sucker for Tom Izzo Spartans. They're going to be good hard workers, hard defenders, and Miles Bridges is my dude. Going to round out my starting five.
Yeah, your team is super athletic. Yeah, man, Miles Bridges. I mean, his three ball was vicious in college. It still is continuing. I mean, he's super athletic. I mean, he jumps over guys. I mean, he takes you baseline. He finishes over you. So I mean, he's 225 pounds, 6'7". He gets up the floor super quick, super explosive. I mean, he can do it all. I mean, yeah, you got Jackson Hayes down there, John Morant, Miles Bridges. I mean, you guys are gonna be crazy out. You guys are gonna be running up and down the floor. Only if you had Simons now.
This team could have a dunk contest by themselves.
Yeah, for real.
Lonnie Walker and Jackson Hayes and Miles Bridges, that would be pretty dope.
All right, man. My last guy to bring a little bit more talent to my team is Chris Boucher. He's 6'10", 201 pounds. He averaged 27 a game, 51% from the field, just under 12 rebounds and 4 blocks in the G League last year. I mean, he's averaging 22 points and 12 rebounds through this year's Summer League, and he won the G League MVP and G League Defensive Player of the Year last year. So, man, what do you think about me picking him up?
Oh man, he was tough to let go, but I had to take Cobb and Jelly instead. Chris Boucher, Oregon alum, SCO Ducks, Canadian, great player. Took him a while to develop because he is thin, but with the physicality that you have with Zion and Brandon Clark, Boucher can play that stretch five role where he can defend the rim. He doesn't have to bang down low because you got Clark and Zion, and then he can pick and pop on the offensive side of the ball. He's kind of got a funky release, but it's very high. His release, it's almost like a soccer pass. So it's basically impossible to block. He has great timing, blocking shots back in the day. In Eugene, it was Jordan Bell and Chris Boucher, and they were the Swatter brothers, and they continue to block shots. So that lineup is pretty sweet because those frontline guys are bouncy.
Yeah.
Boucher, Clark, and Zion. That's a pretty good dunk contest as well.
Hey man, it'd be a good matchup. Do you have any honorable mentions? I just got one guy I want to bring up. One guy, R.J. Barrett, and another guy, Kobe White. I really like Kobe White too. But R.J. Barrett and Kobe White. The reasons being, I didn't take Barrett because with Zion, I feel like Barrett kind of took away from Zion's potential at Duke, so left him off this. I want to build around Zion. I want Zion to have a fresh start, and I want him to have different pieces around him, and I want it to be Zion's team. Kobe White, I didn't pick him. I really like him, but his first game summer league was a little shaky. And Anthony to me has really been killing it. I couldn't take Kobe White over Anthony to be honest. So those are two guys I really consider. Kobe White, I was about to punch the ticket and I pulled it back. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do Kobe over Anthony right now.
That was the right choice. Yeah, I have a little list here. I'm just gonna reel them off real quick and talk just about one of them. But Kevin Knox, Drew Eubanks, Dylan Windler, Svi Mikhailuk, Mitchell Robinson, and Zach Smith. The one guy I want to talk about a little bit because I banged on him a little bit after the draft, and he's already proving me wrong, is Matisse Thybulle, man. Washington Husky, which is disgusting, but he is a 3-and-D player with no three. That's what he was coming out of Washington. I was irritated. The Sixers needed shooting the ball a lot better in summer league so far. And the one thing that translates in summer league is the 3-point line. It's the same.
Yeah.
And he's a catch and shoot guy. The defense has been as advertised. He would be a great 6-man, honorable mention. I hope he continues to prove me wrong because he'd really fit in with that 76ers team. He's mature, being a 3-year college guy. So he's ready to play, ready to make that postseason push with Embiid and Simmons.
Hey man, you talking about 6-man? It reminds me of the Clippers. Just with like Cabin Jelly's playing ability, they obviously got Lou Williams there, and that other boy they picked up from the draft, he's playing pretty strong too. So it's just like the Clippers seem like they seem solid this year. I'm not trying to dive into that, but they just seem super deep. But anyways, guys, it's about a wrap. Leave in the comment section whose team would win. Obviously mine. But anyways, just let us know whose team you think's better. Once again, our social medias under Nick, as always, Facebook, Twitter, and we're on Instagram at the Waiver Wire Pod. So go ahead and give us a follow, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you want. Dislike, don't matter. But anyways, right on, man. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate you for coming on, man.
All right, sweet. See you, man.
Yeah, see you later.